لعلنا جميعا تلقينا خبر رسم خرائط الأراضي لدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة باستخدام صور الأقمار الصناعية المستندة على تكنولوجيا الذكاء الاصطناعي بالتعاون مع جامعة الإمارات. وقبلها بشوية كان معهد MIT بيكلمنا عن ابتكارهم لنموذج جديد لإسراء الخرائط الرقمية أو ما يسمى بالروت تاجر أو روت تاجر عبر الأقمار الصناعية استنادا على الذكاء الاصطناعي. وتابعنا برضو مؤخرا إتاحة فرص جديدة للباحثين في مجال الصور الرادارية والذكاء الصناعي للانضمام إلى وكالة الفضاء المصرية. الفكرة هنا وراء استخدام تكنولوجيا الذكاء الاصطناعي للتعامل مع الصور الرادارية المستخلصة من المستشعرات المحمولة على الأقمار الصناعية ببساطة هو إيجاد نموذج تعلم آلي مرتبط بصور الأقمار الصناعية يتيح مميزات ومعلومات إضافية. على سبيل المثال كما نعلم أن الطرق غالبا ما تكون غامضة بالنسبة للمتعاملين مع الصور الرادارية، بتكون غامضة بسبب مكونات كالأشجار المباني. ومن هنا فكرة أهمية التعلم الآلي والذكاء الاصطناعي المرتبط بالشبكة العصبونية للتنبؤ تلقائيا بعدد الممرات وأنواع الطرق سواء سكنية أو سريعة، وبالطبع أيضا ما ورائية العوائق. خلوني أعرض عليكم تجربة هي غير مسبوقة تمت فيها رسم خرائط تفصيلية لحوالي 2 مليون شجرة موزعة بين ملايين الكيلومترات ما بين منطقتي الساحل والصحراء غرب أفريقيا بواسطة الذكاء الاصطناعي. اعتمدت منهجية العمل بالنسبة للعلماء على تحليل الباحثون لقاعدة بيانات ضخمة من صور الأقمار الصناعية بواسطة تكنولوجيا الذكاء الاصطناعي اللي كانت قادرة على التعرف وفهم المكونات كالأشجار وتمييز أشكالها وأنواعها كمان. في البداية تم تحديد مواقع حوالي 90,000 شجرة بشكل يدوي ودراستها وإعداد قاعدة بيانات ليها وإكساب الحواسب القدرة على تحديدها إلكترونيا. وكانت النتيجة مذهلة، 2 مليون شجرة تم رسمهم. بدون أنظمة الذكاء الاصطناعي كان هيستغرق الأمر مئات السنين. والآن احنا عندنا أو بإمكاننا إحصاء عدد الأشجار على كوكب الأرض ككل. فخلونا ببساطة نسأل ماذا لو تم استخدام تكنولوجيا الذكاء الاصطناعي مع الصور المختصة بتطبيقات المحيطات على سبيل المثال؟ أعتقد ساعتها هيكون عندنا خريطة واضحة للاقتصاد الأزرق واستغلال أنسب الموارد البحرية أو الموارد المائية ككل. هيكون عندنا خريطة واضحة بالنسبة لاقتصاديات العالم المتجهة نحو الاقتصاد الأزرق. الامر ما بيتوقفش هنا. في مسابقه كلنا سمعنا عنها، مسابقه الجيوتك، واللي كانت بتهدف الى استخدام بيانات الاقمار الصناعيه وتكنولوجيا الذكاء الاصطناعي في معالجه البيانات آليا والاستفاده بها في تخطيط الحيز البحري وتخطيط الاداره الريفيه والحضريه، وكذلك في اداره الكوارث والازمات وامن الحدود الساحليه. الفائزون في المسابقه سواء كان فارمن او ان استرا قدموا حلول ذكاء اصطناعي بتتنبأ بالاحتياجات المستقبليه للزراعه وتحسين المعلومات عن المكافحه والتسميد وضبط استخدام الموارد المائيه والتنبؤ بمواسم الزراعه والحصاد. ده غير منصه لمراقبه تشوه الارض المحتمل وخوارزميات المعالجه المتقدمه من خلال نظام مراقبه عبر الرادارات المحموله على الاقمار الصناعيه وتوصيات آلية مستمدة عبر تكنولوجيا التحليل والذكاء الاصطناعي. كل اللي بنتكلم عنه ده بيفتح الباب لتحسين استخدام البيانات المستخلصة من الأقمار الصناعية، فضلا عن توفير وقت العلماء على كوكب الأرض والتكلفة المنخفضة والمعززة بالذكاء الاصطناعي. ولعل اهم الكتب الرائده في مجال الذكاء الاصطناعي هو كتاب الدكتور جودي هيمنز اللي بيتحدث طبعا تم نشره عن طريق سبرينجر نيتشر تحت عنوان تقنيات الذكاء الاصطناعي لتحليل صور الاقمار الصناعيه، واللي هنرحب بيه النهارده متحدثا عن كتابه الاخير والدوره التدريبيه اللي هيقدمها ولاول مره في الوطن العربي في تعاون مشترك بين معهد كاريونيا للعلوم والتكنولوجيا واكاديميه تقنيات وعلوم المحيط. اوكي. تمام. Today we pleased to welcome Dr. Hemant, our special guest from India. Dr. Hemant.
Thank you, Adel. Hope you people are doing good amid this pandemic situation. Hope Egypt is fine. India is India is bit struggling, but we think we will come out of this very soon.
We're happy to have you here.
Good evening, students. I find there are many students eagerly waiting for what I am going to share for the next 10 minutes or the 15 minutes. So hopefully you people are good and a happy evening also. So for the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I will be sharing about my contents, right? The contents which I have planned for the next course which we are planning to have. Right? So I have named my course as a starter to deep learning for research applications. So most of you might be knowing that deep learning is one of the important backbone of any artificial intelligence based approach. I do not know exactly what background you are from, right? But this deep learning is used for almost all engineering and research applications. So I think all the students must have an idea on this concept. So this is about me. I am very sure that you would not have seen me or you may not be knowing about me. So just I want to give a 2 minutes introduction about myself. So my area of interest is artificial intelligence, or you can name it as soft computing, or clubbed with the image processing applications, right? So medical images, satellite images, remote sensing images, and other natural scene images. So these are the stuffs which I am doing some work on. So as a researcher, I will advise you, everybody should have a PowerPoint slide like this, right? So it is not about learning something new. More than that, how you move forward in your student career, in your project career, or in your research career, which is very, very important. I have this slide as a self-evaluatory tool. So whenever I go for a talk, I come back and check, is there any changes? Right. So if there is some changes in the numbers or in the concepts, then I think I am working something on that. If there is no change, then I was sitting idle for the so long time, right? So this is useful for every researcher so that they can check how they progress further in their research career. So the first 4 points talk about the publications, research publications. As you know, across the world, it is one of the benchmark to judge the quality of a researcher. And we will be talking only about side journals or at the least Scopus journals, right? We are not going to talk about the low quality journals. So I have something around 134, which is quite a good number. Then each journal will have an impact factor. So put together, the impact factor is 162.8, and the citations and the H index. Maybe I will be having a separate session on these things so that you will also get some idea. Then about the projects, then about the publications of books, right? Everything is related with artificial intelligence and image processing. So I am also the editor of many of the journals so that I can give some opportunities to some of the best students from this course who are attending to go for some free publication in indexed journals. Then I'm associated with many research labs across the globe. I too have some many friends from Egypt, Cairo, and many talks I have delivered and conferences organized. Now we'll go into the agenda or what you can expect from this course, right? The first point, what you can expect from this course is knowledge and wisdom, right? I hope you must have heard about King Solomon. Right? So King Solomon, when he asked God for wisdom rather than going for knowledge. Right? So I want to ask a small question to you. Do you know the difference between knowledge and wisdom? Anyone? Do you know the difference between knowledge and wisdom? Right? Okay, I will put in another words, right? How many of you have seen tomato? Right? Tomato. I think it is also common in Egypt. I'm not very sure about the tomato. How many of you have seen that? Maybe everyone will raise your hand. Now my question is whether tomato is a fruit or a vegetable. Can anyone unmute your mic and tell me the answer, whether it is a fruit or a vegetable? Tomato is a fruit, or whether tomato is a vegetable?
No, tomato is a vegetable.
Okay, tomato is a vegetable.
Fruit.
Anybody else?
Oh, it's
Yes.
fruit.
Anybody else giving different answer?
Fruit. Tomato is fruit.
Fruit. Fruit. I think it is Omer. Omer is telling fruit, right? The correct answer is tomato is a fruit. It is not a vegetable, right? So I can validate my statement. So you can see that the juiciness, the characteristic features of a fruit is the juiciness. All the contents should be juicy with some liquid contents, and it should have some ripened nature, right? When it is in a vegetable state, it will be in green color, but when it's ripened, normally the color changes, right? Red color shows the extreme ripened characteristic feature, right? And also based on the seed. So if you can analyze the tomato, it comes under the category of fruit, right? Maybe you can check that. But I heard one answer that it is a vegetable, right? So now I come and ask another question. So because tomato is a fruit, how many of you use tomato in the fruit salad? I hope everybody would have taken fruit salad. Now Omer gave me an answer that it is a fruit, right? Now I would like to ask Omer whether you use tomato in a fruit salad, right? The answer is no. Yes, come, open up.
No, we didn't use it as of in fruit salad.
Yes, thanks, Mayor. We do not use a tomato in fruit salad, but it is a fruit, right? So this is the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowing things, knowing what is all about knowledge, and then where to use those techniques is called as wisdom. The application part is wisdom, and knowing thing is knowledge, right? So knowledge is necessary for a beginner, and wisdom is necessary for an intermediate student. Okay? So in this course, I will be having a mixture of both knowing things, what is what. Suppose if you are very new to deep learning, then I can tell you what is what. Afterwards, one specific session will be on where we are going to use this specific deep learning. So I have framed the contents in such a way it will be suitable for beginners and also for intermediate students. Right? I don't think any experts will be there because as per adults information, I think most of you are in the student, maybe a postgraduate, maybe a research scholar, or maybe an undergraduate student. So also you will have a mixture of theory, you have theoretical contents, you will have simple mathematical equations because artificial intelligence also depends on maths. Right? So simple mathematics is sufficient, and there will be many case studies, right? My own experiences on how I did my research for the past 10 years that I can inform you, but the deep learning perception. And if you ask me, is there any prerequisites required? No, there is no prerequisites required. Anyone can join this course, and it will be useful for the mini projects for undergraduate students, major projects for the postgraduate students. And if you're a research scholar, this course will be very much useful, right, for the research works. And every day we will be having a question answer session. We'll follow the teaching session every day. So whatever you have in your mind, I'm going to teach from my mind, right? I do not know your expectation exactly. So if you have any other expectation, you can make use of that question answer session. As per my interaction with Adel, we planned for 2 hours per day, totally 4 days. 2 hours per day will be the session, but Adel can tell me is that okay or not. And the course contents will be given to you in the form of recorded video, right? Normally, if you go for PPTs, I may put one line, but the inferences I derive from one line may be huge. So it will be better if my audio also will be there, will be supplied to the participants, and the 90% of the contents are my own research experiences. I have not copied anything from internet. Right? And the last session, 4 days you will have, and the last day I will be teaching on how to write a research paper. So being a journal editor, I will know what is the expectation of a journal from an author. So I will be giving you some guidance on how to put your research works or your project works in the form of a good research paper. Right? And if somebody is very good, right, you along with your professor and can join, and you can publish in my site journals, which are open for submissions till February 2021. So I can give one slot for best one. I cannot give many, but one or two maybe I can. So we will see a brief introduction on what we will be having on each day. So the course I have named as a starter on deep learning for research applications. And the day one, I will be talking about another important base for deep learning, which is called as artificial neural networks. I'm not sure how many of you are good in artificial neural networks. So I'll be talking about that introduction on the first day, because only with artificial neural networks, you can enter into deep understanding. The mathematical process behind that artificial neural networks is essential for deep learning. So what are the things you can expect on day one? Explanation about the difference between AI and ML. If you browse internet, you find these words in a elaborate way, AI and ML, but there are many differences which a student or a researcher must know. That I will be talking about on the first day. And then you will have a practical explanation on how a human life goes on, how a human brain works. Right? Then we will be slowly moving from human brain to artificial brain. That is the main objective of this course. So we'll have a small transition on that, and we'll go into artificial neural networks. And in artificial neural networks, I'll be giving you the different types of ANN architectures and the learning methodologies. So backpropagation neural network and coherent network. I have picked these two specific neural networks because these are going to be useful for your deep learning based approaches. So that architecture and training algorithm we will be seeing thoroughly, and I'll be giving a code, a programming code in the form of MATLAB. I'm not sure whether you know MATLAB or not, but that code I can give you, I can explain you also. Then we will go for a case study or an application on how this neural network is used for magnetic resonance brain image classification. Then we will wind up with a question answer session. The second day, we will jump into deep learning concepts. So from artificial neural network, we are going to slowly transform into deep learning. So first you must know why people are crazy about deep learning. That you must know. The second one is different types of deep learning networks I will give you, and a brief overview on three important deep networks I will be talking to you: autoencoders, deep belief networks, and LSTM networks. And the focus of our session will be on convolutional neural networks. Right? I think Muhammad Adal is from satellite-based some organization, and I think your students may be also on image-based. So for image-based applications, convolutional neural networks is the best deep learning-based approach. So we will be dealing that in detail with the architecture and the training algorithm. And now for deep learning, again, I will give you a sample code. I will explain you how to write the program in Python language also. Right? So MATLAB and Python, I will give you. It's not necessary that you should be knowing these languages. After that, you can practice and you can get into it. Right? So we will be creating a WhatsApp group also. So any doubts apart from our class sessions, we can discuss in the WhatsApp group also. Then finally, on second day, we will be talking about the transfer learning approaches. Most of you must be knowing about AlexNet. It is a modification of convolutional neural networks. That we'll be talking on at the fine end stage. Then we'll have a question answer session. So day one, day two, we will be having the complete theoretical and mathematical base. The deeper understanding will be given to you on day one and day two. Day three, I'll be completely talking about applications of deep learning approaches, or I can say applications of artificial intelligence techniques. So here I need a suggestion. I have two options for you. Maybe I can talk completely with satellite images, how things are going on, not only deep learning, other than deep learning also, or I can go for another option where you can find that deep learning is used for COVID-19 detection from medical images, human emotion detection from face images, sentiment analysis from Twitter data, and some deep feature extraction in satellite images. So I will leave the option to you. So whichever category you need, I can base my contents on that. Right? So the third day will be completely about the applications. Right? Day four is the most important day, I would say, right? Because it is not about the technical information you grasp, but more than that, how do you document it? How the world recognizes you is very, very, very important. So one type of recognition a researcher can have is how you are going to write your research papers, right? So with all my experiences with the 164 publications and as editorial journals, I can tell you how to initiate research, right? If you're a beginner, then we will be seeing about the parts of a research paper. What are the ingredients you should have, how you should write, how you should spend time in writing a research paper, right? That we'll be talking about that. Then I will deal each and every part of a paper separately. Abstract, how to write an abstract, how to write an introduction, how to write your methodology, how to write a result section, how to write references, how to write conclusion. There are many hidden aspects here which will be given to you so that you can write a very good, efficient research paper. Then the fifth point will be what are the different research venues we have, conferences, what are the quality conferences, what are the journals, what are the book publication opportunities that I can give you. Then we will have the journal editorial policies. That means once you submit your paper, what happens in the journal condition, which is not known to you. It is only kept with the journal editor. So that policy step-by-step procedure, what happens actually, that will be given to you. Then the reason for rejection of your research papers. Nowadays, if you ask anyone, the first question they say is always my paper gets rejected. So I will tell you some tips. And normally people will give you tips for acceptance, but I will give you the other way so that you will not do that. Finally, we'll be talking about how to become a successful researcher in the sense H-index, the impact factor, the scopus, size, and all those stuffs. And finally, we will wind up the day with the question and answer session. So this is the way how the 4 days will move on. 3 days on technical aspects and the 4th day on research paper writing. I sincerely hope that it will be of much useful to you when you go for your research works or project works. If there is any suggestion, you can let me know. And specifically, I want to know the application part, right? Which one do you prefer? That if you can give me the detail, then it will be much more useful for me so that I can plan accordingly. Thank you very much for your patience listening. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now.